This video is to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. Thank you very much for your messages of support. I greatly appreciate it. Alhamdulillah. I have received thousands of messages. It's getting to the stage where it's hard to keep up with them. I am very thankful though. Thank you so very much. Some of the kindest people in the world are Muslims. I can't believe how close and tight-knit and the brotherhood and sisterhood that this community has. I've just been inundated on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and everywhere else with messages of support. I've had Muslims buying me gifts and sending me gifts and all this other stuff, and it's overwhelming, but it is just absolutely amazing. I've had Muslims tell me that if I ever go to London or Canada or Lebanon or anywhere else in the world, don't worry about accommodation, they got that sorted. Don't worry about food, they've got that sorted. And it's just wow. All I can say is wow, how close and tight-knit this community is and how loving they are. Like, it's just amazing. I sort of sit here now and I think about before I reverted back into Islam. I sit here and I think to myself, how could I have been anti-Islam in the first place? I was one of those people that was misguided when I was back when I was a kuffar, and I was misguided. I ate up a lot of the mainstream media propaganda. I ate up like watching a lot of Zionist-produced Hollywood movies that predicted Muslims as terrorists. They want to bomb things, they want to blow things up. That's all they do. They just chop off heads. They do this, they do that. So I look back at my past when I was in the anti-Islam movement, and I was just like, wow, I never would have looked back, 4 or 5 years ago and went, I'm going to end up becoming a Muslim myself. If you had told me this, I probably would have punched you in the face. But it's funny how they say God works in mysterious ways. So I believe, in my honest opinion, that Allah put me through those trials, through the anti-Islam movement and through this, because I think He knew that even if I had hatred back then for Islam, that I was one of those people, and He knew I was one of those people that if I dislike something or I like something, I will study into it as much as possible to learn as much about it as possible. And that's what I ended up doing. I thought, okay, I'm going to go talk to some Muslims. I'm going to study right into their books, the Quran, the Surah, Hadith, and actually read it with an open mindset to see why these people run around chopping heads off and all this sort of stuff. Because that was the image I had of Muslims. I had this image that Hollywood had given them and that the mainstream media had given them, and all this sort of stuff. And then, I started reading their texts, and I read one particular passage, I remember, where it said, to kill another human being is like killing the whole of mankind and killing yourself. And I'm like, hold on a minute, like, they're saying that, killing is wrong and all this sort of stuff. And then it talked about how the only time that a Muslim should kill or hurt another human being is when he's protecting his deen, his ummah, from attack or possible death, or defending his family or his people from invasion. That is the only time it is permitted, to do that to a person. And so I'm reading these texts and I'm like, hold on, why aren't they following these texts? I'm watching these Hollywood movies, and I'm speaking to Muslims. I met many great Muslims like Yusra Yatim, and other Muslims like that, and talking to those people, lovely people. They wear their heart on their sleeve. You can contact them anytime, anything you need. They're there for you, to talk to you. The community, the Islamic community, I believe, and I've talked to some of the Christians that moved over to Islam. They said it was really disappointing when I'd go through hard times in the church and things like this, and I'd really, really need someone to be there because I felt like hopeless and and lost and things like this, and they're like, oh, just come to church on Sunday, or you'd ring them and they, other Christians were busy, and oh yeah, I'll come see on like, Tuesday or something. And they say the Muslim community is completely different. They're there for each other when you need them. A brother or a sister is there for you. So if you're in a state of absolute despair, or something happens and you need your brothers there for backup, if someone's threatening to hurt you because you're a Muslim, they're only a phone call away. You get on your phone and they'll all come down there to protect you and make sure no harm comes to you. And I think that's the difference in this community, is that they just have this such a tight, strong bond, a brotherhood and sisterhood. The sisters are there for each other, the brothers are there for each other, the sisters are there for the brothers are there to protect the sisters. And it's just, absolutely amazing, this community. It really is. And I cannot say thank you enough to all the Muslims who have messaged me. If I haven't got back to your message yet, or your friend request, I will eventually get to it. Like I said, I've got, my inbox is clogged up with thousands of messages. I woke up this morning to 750 friend requests, and that's grown to over 1,000 now. And I've been bombarded on Instagram and everything else. So I will eventually get to you, but thank you very much for your messages of support, saying that anything I need, here's my phone number. I live in Sydney, or I live in Canberra, I live in Melbourne. We look out for each other. You have any problems, you call and we are there. This is Islam. This is the brotherhood of Islam. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing, seeing these people being so supportive of their tribe, their people. I don't even know what words I can say to say thank you. I don't know. Praise Allah. That's all I can say. You are beautiful people. Don't ever change for anyone. Alhamdulillah.